ಆನೊಂತ ಸಗರಿ ಮಾಗರಿ ನಿಪನೀಸ ಹರಾದೆ ಗುರುಗುಗತೋಷಿತ ಬಿಂಬಂ ಹಂಸಧ್ವನಿ ಭೂಷಿತ ಹೇರಂಬಂ ವಾತಾಪಿ ಗಣಪತಿಂ ಭಜೆ. Suswagatam and welcome back to a Carnatic journey. The last week we travelled in time and we had a small glimpse on the lives and times of some of the great composers whom we celebrate in Carnatic music. Going back to the 12th century and thereon, we see a huge confluence and a galaxy of composers and saints who created musical and bhakti fervor in our country, Bharat. Saint Surdas. Akhiyan Hari darshan ki pyasi, Akhiyan Hari darshan ki pyasi, Akhiyan Hari darshan की प्यासी. सूरदास प्रभु तुमर दरस बिन, सूरदास प्रभु तुमर दरस बिन. And we had the great saint Mirabai. श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुखर सुधार, भरणौ रघुवर बिमल यश, जो दायक पलचार. Haven't we all woken up to this beautiful song played in our homes by Srimati M.S. Amma, the wonderful Hanuman Chalisa of Sri Tulasidas? We have had great composers from Maharashtra who have given us wonderful abhangs filled with bhakti fervor. Sant Jnaneshwar, Sant Namadev, Sant Eknath and Sant Tukaram, a few among them. And it was left to Sri Samatta Ramadas, who came to Tanjavur, established mutts and spread these beautiful abhangs for all of us to learn and listen to. Let us listen to a small bit of one of these abhangs by M.S. Amma. And we have had Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jayadeva from the east. In the south, in the 15th century, we had Arunagirinathar. The hundreds and hundreds of Tirupugars that Arunagirinathar has blessed us with hold a pride of place in Tamil Bhakti literature and is a form of prayer for many households. We also had Sri Sadashiva Brahmendral in the late 1700s, the mystic saint who gave us many Sanskritam compositions that we sing regularly. Manasa sancharare Brahmani Manasa sancharare Brugi mukundeti रसने ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति केशव माधव गोविन्देति कृष्णानन्द सदानन्देति ब्रूहि मुकुन्देति. There are such beautiful compositions given to us by him. By the late 1700s, the Bhajana Sampradaya had taken firm roots in South India. It was in this atmosphere of bhakti and great music that three great luminaries, that is Punya Purushas, were born. They were called the musical trinity of Carnatic music, or the Mummurtihal. There are many things in common about the musical trinity of Carnatic music. They were all born in Tiruvarur and they were contemporaries. Sri Shyama Sastri, Sri Tyagaraja Swami and Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar. At the right time, divinely appointed musical preceptors in the form of messengers came to guide them like a guru or a teacher. And they all created history in music. They created a fresh chapter in music and an era which can be very clearly demarcated as before them and after them. Their compositions were all replete with Raga Swarupa and Alankaras, and all three of them composed group kirtanas and visited important shrines and composed about the deities, Muthuswami Dikshitar being the most travelled among them. And last but not the least, they knew exactly when they were going to pass away, and this is a great sign of musical siddhi. Let us travel to 1700s to have a small glimpse into their lives and works. Kamakshi Amba Kamakshi Amba Nannu Brovave Bangaru Kamakshi Bangaru Kamakshi. Tradition says that Lord Brahma once performed penance at Kanchipuram, and on conclusion he had darshan of Devi as an effulgent light, as a big jyoti. He then created an idol, a Swarna Vigraha made of pure gold, and worshipped her. She was called Bangaru Kamakshi. Bangaru meaning gold in Telugu. It is said that sage Durvasar and later sage Adi Shankara performed puja to this deity. Adi Shankara chose the ancestors of Sri Shyama Sastri to conduct puja for this deity. It was Sri Adi Shankara's blessings that an unbroken tradition of puja to this deity took place by Shyama Sastri's forefathers for many centuries. In 1500 AD, our country saw troubled times and the fall of the Vijayanagar Empire took place. Shyama Sastri's forefathers wanted to protect the deity as many temples were attacked, artic crafts were looted and idols were destroyed. So they left Kanchi with Bangaru Kamakshi, and after many years of wandering in different places and even in forests, they reached Udayarpalayam in 1624. There they stayed for around 70 years. Then they moved again to various places and finally they reached Tiruvarur. It was in Tiruvarur on the 26th of April 1762 that our Shyama Sastri was born. He was named Venkata Subramanian but was called Shyama Krishnan by his family. Again in 1781, there was a great scare of an impending invasion by Hyder Ali's forces. and destruction of holy places. So, Shyama Shastri's father, Vishwanatha Shastri, to whom Bangaru Kamakshi's puja had come in by now, decided to go to Raja Tulajaji and take refuge under him and stay inside the fortress. Shyama Shastri was a prodigiously talented child, and this was predicted even before he was born. He showed keen interest to learn the Shastras and Sangeeta. He was a first generation musician, so to say, and learned the rudiments of music from an uncle. But it is said that his family was not very keen about him learning music. However, God had other plans. One day, the family had a visitor, a sannyasi called Sangeeta Swami. He was adept at music and Bharata Shastra. It is said that Sri Sangeeta Swami used to dance before Lord Vishwanath at Kashi in the temple. It was Chaturmasya period, and the sannyasi had to stay put at Tanjavur for 4 months. Spotting young Shyama Shastri, he realized that here was a great soul, and he started initiating him into the intricacies of raga and tala. Duro suga kripajuchi santatamaroga drida shariramuga salupunanu salupunanu. Shyama Shastri belonged to a family who were propertied. He was the most endowed financially among the Trinity. However, he was a Mahapurusha who was inspired by Kamakshi's divine presence. Just as a child would turn to its mother, whether in joy or in pain, Shyama Shastri poured forth before Goddess Kamakshi, and you will find that most of his kritis are a plaintive cry for spiritual bliss. Sharanagata Rakshakini Veyani Sadanam Niti Marive It was in this state that he composed magnificent compositions, melodious and original, rich in conception, filled with the essence of raga and intricate laya patterns. He composed in some rare ragas like Manji, Ganta and Chintamani. Devi Brova Samayamide Ati Vegameva China Vedaludirchi Karunim Pave Shankari Kamakshi Devi Brova Samayamite. This composition in Raga Chintamani was created for a very special occasion. You can look up about the story. It's a very interesting story. He was also the architect of the musical form of Swarajati as we see it in concerts today. Swarajatis were originally used in dance with Swaram, Jati and Sahityam, whereas Shyama Shastri composed Swarajatis with just the Swaram and Sahityam portion. The three of his Swarajatis are magnificent pieces They are called the Ratnatrayam or the three gems. Bhairavi, among them, you would have heard very often, is the most popular one too. Let's see a little bit of these Swarajatis. Ma pa ni da ma pa da pa ma ga ri ga ma pa ga pa ma ga ri ni sa ri ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma ga ri ga ma Amba Bhakta Jana Kalpalatika Karunalaya Sadaya Giritanaya Kavave Sharana Gatudu Gada Tamasamuse Yagavara Mosaguka And you have Rave Himagiri Kumari, which is again another masterpiece and a favorite among musicians in concerts. And you have the wonderful masterpiece of Yadukula Kambudi Swarajati. Sari ga sa ga ri sa ni da pa da da sa pari sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ri ma ga ma pa ma pa da pa da sa sa ri ga sa ma ga ri sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa ni da pa ga ri ga ma shi ni Kamala Sambhava Suramunindrula Chetanu Ninu Pogadudagu Taramamma Shubhamimma Ninu Nammitini Shyama Krishna Sodari Turamuganu Karuna Salupumi Kanuka Shini Padayugame Stiramanine Namyunna Nuna Chintalalla Nudirchamaka You can see how he has included his mudra, that is a signature Shyama Krishna, into this composition, and all his compositions actually have his mudra. The speciality about Shyama Sastri's composition is how he uses the entire 3 octaves. At least, he uses the 2.5 octaves very effectively, and you have Mantrasthai, and you also have to touch the Starasthai. Therefore, a musician has to train a lot to be able to sing his compositions. He also managed to include a lot of alankaras, beautifications into his kritis. And one such alankara that it is there, it is perceivable, but sometimes we miss, is what is called a Swarakshara. A Swarakshara is a confluence of the Swaram and the Sahitya. That is, let me tell it to you with an example, it's easier to understand that way. Devi ni pada sarasa. Here you would have noticed ni pada sa. Those four are the swaras, right? Ni, pa, da, sa, and the sahitya is also ni, pa, da, sa, ra, sa. So this is what is called a swarakshara. And Shyama Shastri's kritis abounded with this structural beauty. Sometimes he even opens with the swarakshara, like Saroja Dala Netri Himagiri Putri Saroja Sa 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 Saroja. There you have it. And there are some kritis where the swaraksharam and the lyrical beauty, the alliteration, everything flows so seamlessly with each other. Let me give you an example. Madhava Divinuta Sarasijakshi. You see the way he has used the Madhyama, the Ma in Natakurunji. Ma is the Jivasvara, and see how beautifully he uses this. Madhava Divinuta Sarasijakshi Kanchi Kamakshi Tamasamuseya Karamoma Marakatangi Mahatripura Sundari Ninne Hridayamu Patukunima. He says, Ninne Hridayamu Pattukoni, I hold you in my heart. And that is actually the essence of all his kirtanas, that total surrender that he had towards the goddess. Whether it is his varnams or his swarajatis or his kirtanas, you will find this concept of surrender flowing incessantly. Again, he was the master of the Viloma Chapu. We know that he was a Tala expert, and we've already dealt with this in the Tala episode. You could go and have a look there. The Viloma Chapu, which is the inverted Chapu, was his favorite, and he has composed a number of kirtanas in the Viloma Chapu with different edupus to show how majestically the composition can turn. Gana Vinodini Amba Agana Vinodini Samana Jagana Kana Namma Devi Gana. Look at the majestic way in which he uses this Edupu. This brings me to Meenakshi and a beautiful story associated with Shyama Shastri. Once he was at Pudukkottai and he was singing in the Sanctum Sanctorum of Brigadamba, when suddenly one person appeared before him and he said, "Go to Madurai and sing about Meenakshi." He came home and forgot all about this. Then after a few days, in his dream, the same person appeared and reminded him to go to Madurai. Instantly, he started composing on Madurai Meenakshi. He left for Madurai immediately, and there he was singing to his heart's content. He had composed 9 gems, the Navaratna Malika, on goddess Meenakshi. When he was singing there, nobody realized it was Shyama Shastri. However, the goddess was so moved that she spoke through a priest. As he was singing Mayamma in Ahiri Ragam, she spoke through a priest and told everybody that it was her devotee Shyama Krishnan who had come. And immediately the temple authorities realized and they gave him all honors and they welcomed him. Such are the miracles associated with Shyama Shastri's compositions. He was recognized as an unparalleled Vidwan of his times. So though he was meditative and he was at Kamakshi's Sanctum Sanctorum at most times, he managed to help save the honor of the Tanjavur court quite a number of times when musical duels took place and he had to help the king by defeating other Vidwans and proving that the Tanjavur court was superior. There are many stories related to this. You must read them. Musicians consider Shyama Sastri's composition to be like a kadali pala, that is a plantain. It has to be peeled and consumed. So one has to work hard on the raga, tala and the intricacies and practice these compositions repeatedly again and again with Shraddha and Bhakti to get a grip over them and to sing them well. Pramukulaku Tyagaraja Bandhyulaku Brahmananda Sudabudhi Marma Vidulaku Mrokeda Sangita Ko Vidulaku Mrokeda. We saw the wonderful musical and bhakti environment that flourished in the 1700s before the advent of the Trinity. We can see here how Tyagaraja Swami mentions his namaskarams, his pranams to all the great musicians and sages who had lived before him and who had given him this wonderful treasure of his music. With Nama Siddhanta as the foundation, Rama Bhakti as the Peetam or platform, the awareness of Puranas, knowledge of intricacies of the ragas and their prayogas as the building blocks, the bhava laden compositions of Sri Purandaradasar and Sri Bhadrachala Ramadasar as the cementing factor, the unswerving faith and single-minded devotion to Lord Rama being the edifice. Sri Tyagaraja Swami built his temple of music. Tyagaraja Swami, also called Tyaga Brahmam, was born to Rama Brahmam and Sita Ma on the 4th of May in 1767 in Tiruvarur. As some great scholars have pointed out, much of the biography of Tyagaraja Swami can be traced in his Kirtanas itself. He says, Sitamma Mayamma Sri Ramudu Maku Tandri. Here he refers both to his biological parents as well as Sita Devi and Sri Rama. We all know the history of Tyagaraja Swami, and we all know that he started his initial training under Sonti Sri Venkata Ramanaya. His mother herself knew more than 200 Kirtanas of Purandaradasar and Bhadrachala Ramadasar, and Tyagaraja Swami grew up listening to all this. The gods must have known that he was a king composer in the making, for they sent sage Narada himself, who disguised himself as a sannyasi and came and met Tyagaraja Swami and left a treatise which is called Swararnava, which had in it all the intricacies of raga and tala for Tyagaraja Swami to observe. Tyagaraja Swami inherited the worship of his family deity Sri Rama from his father. This daily ritual was a big inspiration and kritis sprung from his puja. We have the Utsava Sampradaya Kirtanas, which were sung during this occasion. Melukovaya Mammeluko Rama. 2. Lalivugave Ma Palidevama. That is, from waking up Lord Rama to putting him to sleep, so many beautiful kirtanas sprung up. In fact, among the Utsava Sampradaya Kirtanas, we have various kirtanas which we use even in concerts as even the main composition. That again is another area to study. Again, his daily ritual of Unchavrati And singing kirtanas and bhajans during this ritual gave birth to a number of Divyanama Kirtanas. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Shringara Ramayani Tapamemi Jeseno Teliya. You had some beautiful kirtanas in this segment. Paripalaya, Paripalaya, Paripalaya Raghunatha. This kriti talks about Manasa Puja, how one can worship inside one's mind. Again, he was so influenced by his predecessors. You can see various kirtanas where he has shown how he has followed the footsteps of Sri Purandaradasa. Sakala Graha Balanine of Purandaradasa is the one which made him think of Graha Balame. And it is said his Dhyaname Varamaina reminds one so much of Smarane Vonde Salade Govindana Nama Monde Salade. And we can see that he has paid his obeisance to all these great maestros, Purandaradasar, Sri Bhadrachala Ramadasar. Even in his Shirasagara, Devagandhari, you can see a reference to him paying his pranams to such great predecessors. And we can see that he has composed a number of kritis on Narada, who was his guru. Tyagaraja Swami was a prolific composer and he is said to have composed 24,000 verses. It is believed that he is sage Valmiki's avatara, and Valmiki Ramayana consists of 24,000 shlokas. We have about 600 kritis with us now and easily close to 200 ragas that he has handled. The wonderful storyteller that he was, he weaves a myriad of emotions in his songs. And he gives us a kaleidoscopic effect. Ma kelara vicharamu, ma kelara vicharamu, maru kanna Shri Ramachandra ma kelara. In Raga Ravichandrika, here he says, why should I worry when my Lord Rama is there, in a mood of complete surrender. Cheraravade mira Ramaya Cheraravade. In Riti Gaule, where he is full of love for Lord Rama. And there are compositions where he is full of admiration for Sita and Rama, like Ma Janaki and Samaname Varu Ramani Samaname Varu Raghuvam Shodharaka Ramani Samaname Varu. But there is also a time when, as a composer, he takes great liberty with the Lord. He chides him and in fact even laughs at him, and sometimes he is very sarcastic. Compositions like Manamuleda, even Nagumomu. Take the meaning and look at Nagumomu. You will see how much of hasyam. There is so much of sarcastic laughter in that, where he says, oh, is it that your parivaras are not listening to you? The people who are working under you are not listening to you? That's why you are not able to rush down and come and save me? That is what he says. Have a look at all these compositions. They make such interesting and beautiful read. He weaves story, raga, laya, raga ranjaka prayogas, rhyme, similes, analogies, humor, sometimes satire, surrender, hope, sometimes it's just pure advice. Everything into his kritis like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. All this he does with great felicity and flow of style, ease and effect. And he managed alliterations and sound effects, and he managed to show all these emotions in a very simple and beautiful fashion. That is the reason Tyagaraja Swami's Kirtanas are so popular among musicians and among Rasikas too. Tyagaraja Swami has composed a number of Ekaika Ragas, that is the only Kritis in these Ragas, like Ramin Shuvaravarura in Raga Suposhini, and then we have Devamrita Varshini, Yavarani in Devamrita Varshini. Yavarani Nirnayil Chirira. Please look up this Kriti for the wonderful meaning in which he has weaved the Ramataraka mantra and how Rama, the word Rama, came into being. Have a look at this. Then we have Chinnanatana in Kalanidhi, and you have Vijayashri, Manjari, and so many other ragas that he has handled. Again, there are many examples of Vivadi ragas that he has handled, like Naganandini and Manavati, Paramatmudu in Vagadishwari. They are all such beautiful compositions. Paramatmudu velige mujata bagadelutsu kore Paramatmudu velige. This composition has a wonderful meaning where he sees the Lord in every creature. Please do look it up. So much as he composed spontaneously out of bhakti, devotion and emotion, Tyagaraja seems to have composed many kritis in a well thought out manner, almost like a teacher who wanted to teach us a formula to learn all these ragas. His kriti structuring is one of the biggest contributions to Carnatic music. He conceived kritis in such a way that they could be expanded step by step and built into a superstructure. He himself has spoken about this in his composition Sogasuga Mridanga Talamu. Do look up the meaning on how a kriti has to be structured, and he said that he wanted to compose it in the Draksha Rasa, that is like a grape that could be easily consumed. We can see this structuring in many kirtanas like Orangashayi, Darini Telusukonti, Na Jiva Dara. Let us check Chakkani Raja. Chakkani Raja Margamu Luntaka. 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 Santula Duranela Manasa. Chakkani Raja Margamu Luntaka. There are almost 15 Sankatis, and in the end we go to Chakkani Raja Margamu Luntaka. Chakkani Raja Margamu Luntaka. The scope he has given for building these Sangatis in such a beautiful manner and with a musical purpose, that is the greatness of Tyagaraja Swami's compositions. And he is also famous for his different Oedipus, that is, everything doesn't start in the Samam, and he gives wonderful effect by starting compositions in different parts of the Tala. For instance, Chade Buddhimanura. There in this Atana composition, he wants to bring attention immediately. So he starts it as in the Atitam, that is even before the Tala starts. That's where he starts. Like that, there are many compositions in Ondreda Eduppu that is very famous. Like we saw already. Ma kelara vicharamu manavyala kinchara tate manavyala kinchara sarasa samadana beda danda chatura sarasa samadana beda danda chatura. We could go on and on. He was the king of the Ondreda Eduppu. Bhakti was the axis of his work. He has written the Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam and the Nauka Charitram. Do read up about these great operas. His visit to a number of different holic shrines gave rise to a number of group kritis. Samudaya kritis are called group kritis. Lalgudi Pancharatnam, Kovur Pancharatnam, Tiruvattriyur Pancharatnam and so on. However, he has been immortalized by his Ganaraga Pancharatnam, which is sung around the globe and which will remain a favorite for all. He strongly believed that Bhakti and Sangeeta were inseparable parts. Sangeeta jnanamu bhakti vina. In this composition you can see how he says that Rama Bhakti was so important along with good Suswara Sangeeta. He chanted the Ramanama 96 crore times and had vision of Lord Rama, on which he sang Balakanakamaya Chela Sujana Paripala Shri Ramalola. Such beautiful compositions. It must have been that pleasure and the bliss that he felt after seeing Rama that he sang so many compositions about Ramanama and about the beauty of chanting Ramanama. Smarane sukhamu Ramanama, Smarane sukhamu Ramanama. It requires many months of talking about Tyagaraja Swami to even cover a few of his compositions and their beauty. However, we must understand that he is like a guru who has told us that true Sangeeta leads to true Bhakti and to the Lord's feet through Sangeetam. He was therefore called Sadguru, as he taught us like a teacher on the higher goals of life. Guru Guhaya Bhaktanu Grahaya Guru Guhaya Bhaktanu Grahaya Kumaraya Namo Namaste. Muthuswami Dikshitar was born into a family of musicians. His father, Sri Ramaswamy Dikshitar, a great exponent of Veena and a great composer himself, created many compositions. And the longest is said to be the Ashtotra Shata Raga Tala Malika, that is 108 Raga Tala Malika. And it is said that it took 2 hours to perform this Raga Malika and is the longest known musical composition. He is also the musician to discover the famous Raga Hamsadvani that we all love. To this great Vidwan and Srimati Subbalakshmi was born one of the greatest composers of music on 24th of March 1775. He was born with the blessings of Vaitishwara Swami of Vaitishwaran Koil. The father dreamt that goddess Balambika gave him a pearl necklace, pearl meaning Muttu in Tamil. The child was named after Muthu Kumara Swami of Vaitishwaran Koil and also named Muthu Swami, meaning the necklace and the god. Early in his life, Sri Chidambaranatha Yogi who had already blessed the father, took Muthuswami Dikshitar to Kashi. He initiated him into Sri Vidya Upasana. The stay at Kashi was a very productive period for Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar. It is here that he received his veena from the river Ganges, Gangama. He was also able to absorb a number of intricacies from the North Indian classical music and adopted many salient features, especially of the Drupad style, in his ragas and his compositions. Jambupate mam pahi nijananda amrita bodhan dehi Jambupate Akilandeshwari Rakshamam. Many North Indian ragas and the Drupad style found a place in his compositions. After 5 years, Sri Chidambaranatha Yogi asked him to go home and then to Tirthani from there on, a holy shrine for Lord Kartikeya. The story goes that Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar sat in meditation in Tirthani. There, a sannyasi came and asked him to open his mouth and dropped a sugar candy into his mouth. Immediately, Muthuswami Dikshitar burst into song, his first song being Srinathati Guru Guho Jayati Jayati. He used his Ankita Mudra, Guru Guha, because he realized that it was Lord Kartikeya who had come as a Guru and given him that prasadam which made him sing. Henceforth, compositions poured from him like a perennial river. He was a prolific composer and travelled widely, highly scholarly. He composed mostly in the Vilamba Kala, that is the slow tempo, which gave him an opportunity to introduce lyrical patterns into the musical texture and also gave him scope for the raga to be handled with great care, weaving in subtle gamakas and bringing about the raga bhava in totality in the composition. This came along with mantra yantra prayogas, which were embedded in the composition. Sarvasha paripuraka chakra swamini. There were special alankaras and yatis and yamakas, alliterations that made the composition shine with a rare effulgence. Let us take an example of a yamaka, which the same word has multiple meanings. For instance, I will take the same composition, Kamalambam Bhajare. Kamalambam Bhajare. Here he is referring to Kamalambam, the goddess. Kamalavani. Here he is talking about Kamala, who is none other than goddess Lakshmi. Kamala Purasadana. Here it is the place where she resides. Kamala Vadana, the one with the lotus face. Such was the beauty of his compositions. The details he included and cleverly blended in the Sahitya were astounding. Kshetra details, speciality of the holy place he was visiting, and details of the deity and the special pujas that were conducted there and the festivities in that place were all embedded in his kiritis. Let us take one example. We will take the composition Ranganayakam in Nayaki, where he discloses the raga right in the Pallavi. Ranganayakam bhavaye Hum Shri Ranganayaki. There he brings in the Raga Mudra, which is the signature of the raga name of the raga. Let us go to the Charanam. Notice how he brings in so many details. Pranavakara divya vimanam prahladadi bhaktabhimanam Ganapati samana vishwaksenam Gajaturaga padadi senam Dinamanikula bhavaragavaradanam Mamaka videha mukti sadanam Manimaya sadanam Sashi vadanam Parnipati shayanam Padmanayanam Aganita suguna Gananata vibhishanam Ganadara kaustuba Mani vibhushanam Guni janahrida Veda parayanam Guru guhamudita narayanam Shri Ranganayakam. See how he paints the entire canvas, bringing in all the details of that deity, the Kshetra, and builds it into a superstructure. Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar also composed the largest number of Samudaya compositions, that is group Kirtanas. We have the Tyagaraja Vibhakti Kirtanas, Shodasha Ganapati Kirtanas, Panchalinga Kirtanas, Navagraha Kirtanas, for which there is a beautiful story on why he composed them. Please look it up. And we have the wonderful Kamalamba Navavarnam, which is the crowning glory of Muthuswami Dikshitar's compositions. And we have Abhayamba Navavarnam and so on. He has also composed about 40 Notuswarams, which are so beautiful. Let us look at some of the Yati patterns he created, their Alankaras, in a Kriti. He used them so fabulously. We will take one of his popular Kritis, Tyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, for this. First, let us look at the Gopucha Yati, where, like the cow's tail tapers from big to small, in such a way he uses a huge sentence and brings it down into smaller phrases and words, each one having a meaning of its own. Agaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Raja Yoga Vaibhavam, Yoga Vaibhavam, Vaibhavam, Bhavam Vam Tyaga Raja Yoga Vaibhavam. In the same composition, you can see the opposite, that is the Stroto Vahayati. Here, just like a river starts as a small spring and grows, so do the words start from a single word and grows into a sentence. See how beautifully he handles this. Shiva Shaktyadi Sakala Tattva Swarupa Prakasham, being the sentence. Samprakasham Swarupa Prakasham Tattva Swarupa Prakasham Sakala Tattva Swarupa Prakasham Shiva Shakyadi Sakala Tattva Swarupa Prakasham. Similarly, he was the master at using and introducing the Raga Mudra into his compositions. The clever way in which he introduced the Raga Mudra and the way it was woven into the texture of the Sahitya has to be seen to be believed. Let us take the same composition. Here, the Raga is Ananda Bhairavi. Shri Guru Guha Gurum Sachitananda Bhairavisham is one of the sentences, the phrases. Look at it more closely and see how he has woven the Raga Mudra here. Shri Guru Guha Gurum Sachitananda Bhairavisham. Let us take another example in his composition in Kambodi. Kailasanathena. In this we have Sayadgati Dayakam Bojacharanena. On the face of it, this is the phrase. Now look closely and you will find the Raga Mudra embedded here. Sayadgati Dayakam Bojacharanena. So, just like a treasure hunt, he hides these beautiful phrases like a magician inside the texture of the composition. Such was his genius. Since Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar used the Asampurna Mela Pantadi widely in his Kirtanas, you find beautiful different names for the ragas that he has used. For instance, the Shanmuga Priya that we sing widely is called Chamaram in his compositions, and Purvi Kalyani is called Gamaga Kriya. So much can be spoken about these great musical geniuses. They are like the perennial river Ganga. What we are attempting here is to bring Ganga into a small pot into our homes to worship. God willing, we shall deal with some of the beautiful compositions of these composers at a later date. Another royal star was already shining bright in the Carnatic sky in the same period. Let us travel back in time to that kingdom next week. Until then, Namaskaram. Yendaro Maghanubavu Luandari Ki Bandanamulu Yendaro Maghanubavu